All right. Thanks for joining me today to talk about the work you did for the first round of our collage project at SUBSPACE. I wonder if you could introduce yourself to us.
Yeah, of course. And thank you for having me. I'm Lin Grimm, and I was very excited to work on this Cutting Up 2020 collage experience with SUBSPACE.
Wow, thanks, Lynn. And do you usually do collage, or what creative mediums are you often doing?
Yeah, I don't do collage very much. I think the last time I did was probably high school for an assignment, right?
Yeah.
I usually stick to digital art medium, definitely inspired by anime and cartoons for children. Uh, just clean lines, clean colors. And so, but I've been pushing myself to like make it messier, make it more complicated, put in more visual information. And so that's part of why I was really excited to do collage. And this collage is because it's a lot of information and trying to like hit that line between not enough visual to look at and too much visual. And I just wanted to push it.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the possibilities are endless. And how did you hear about the project?
I have a friend who can't remember exactly what they were doing in SUBSPACE, but Linus.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of textile arts, I believe, and like basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Yoke Jammer. Yeah. We actually met in Olympia, Washington.
Oh, cool.
And then I grew up in Tucson. Linus moved to Tucson. I was like, hey, that's actually where I've been. And then I ended up back in Tucson with my parents for like part of the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'd already been following SUBSPACE on Instagram. And I thought that it was really cool to be interfacing on Instagram with some place that I knew in real life. And I was like, okay, we're all disconnected because of pandemic. Like at the time that you were asking for artists, I had already moved out to California.
Okay.
But I felt like that connection, like I wanted to kind of honor my time in Tucson that I had had again so briefly and feel a little bit more rooted to Tucson and the scene there, the artist scene, the creative scene there. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad SUBSPACE can do that in a way, ship out to wherever people are in the States and keep people creating, remind people that Tucson loves them.
Yeah,
all the nice things about Tucson.
For sure.
And do you remember the name of the theme that we gave?
The name of the what?
Well, like the theme of the collage. We gave it Cutting Up 2020, right? Yeah.
Cutting Up 2020, yeah.
And so did you have some ideas before you got the material even?
Mostly just rage of at 2020. And I was like, art, catharsis, 2020, that needs to happen. But I didn't know what I was going to actually do until I saw the magazines that were sent to me, because I wasn't going to know what I was going to be working with. And I knew I didn't want to like just cut out like colors and use only colors. I wanted to see what the content of the magazines were.
Yeah, which magazines did you end up receiving?
I think I got...
Yeah, anything that really pushed you? Like I've never seen that material ever?
I think I had a Newsweek and a Southern Country Living or something. And it was just like total different ends of the spectrum, because like Southern Country Living, if that was what it was called, it was like wholesome, Southern, summertime with barbecue.
Everything in the everything in the world is fine.
Everything's great. And then Newsweek was like COVID, Trump, protests that some people are very upset about for different reasons. Um,
Yeah.
and, yeah, and so it felt like weird to have to, not have to, get to pull from totally different ends of media and turn it into one big thing, and kind of acknowledge both, but try to not just completely duplicate either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all my pretty big patches of color are definitely from the southern country living one, which had a lot of like ads for aging people with bright purple backgrounds and them holding medicine and what have you. And so I was like, colors.
Yeah.
Good, we need that.
Yeah. And now, I think it was, I don't know if it's been 2 months since you made the collage, but looking at it now, what stands out to you?
Mostly Trump's stupid big mouth yelling words.
And you put something in there. What did you put?
I did.
Universe?
So there were already little COVID viruses, like that was canonically already in the Trump image. And then I kind of sprinkled security people around and to militarization of police force kind of idea around, because who's propping him up and who is he hired to prop himself up, basically. And
doing actions straight from his words.
Yep. And it's so unfortunate. So the Newsweek was definitely the one that had like big old Trump face on it, and I was resisting for so long. I was like, I don't want to put this stupid face on my art. And I was like, but it's right there, and it's something that I can, instead of letting it just act on me and make me upset, I'm going to push back, and I'm gonna like obscure it, and I'm gonna put things on top of his face and hide him a little bit. And like that point that's coming towards his mouth, that's not the green point. Yeah, not the spit, but the green point with the foliage. That's not coming from him. That's the response coming for him.
Oh, here. Yep.
Yeah. Which is more indicated by like the direction of people, I think. And yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, this whole part. So then going from the top left, then and then going diagonally, how do you decide on those things? Yeah, it looks like they're going all that way.
Yeah.
And something local as well.
Yeah. So Gabriella Cazares-Kelly, I very proudly got to vote for her in this past election. I stuck around in Tucson to make sure I could be around to vote by mail. And she was actually the first person that I made for this piece. It started with her, and then everything else came after that. And so, and not surprisingly, there was no already very good picture of Gabriella in our international and Southern oriented magazines. So I got to spend a lot of time really carefully like finding good colors and pieces. The red dress is, you can kind of see if you look sideways, it's something celebrating 100 years of suffrage for some women. And I was like, that's too on the nose, and I have to use it.
Yeah.
Because it's true. Like, for some women, it was white women first in America. And then beyond that, it's been a very slow, tedious process and laborious process. And it's so awesome to have an Indigenous woman as the now Pima County recorder
Yeah.
in Tucson, and I'm really excited about that. That's something that makes me very happy. And so that was kind of like the core of optimism and hope for me, like as an entity. And then I just built around her and like, well, now she needs an entourage. Because it can't just be one person, can it? It has to be many acting participants. And I snuck in a little Bernie Sanders, but very small, because it's not really about him anymore. It's about everyone else, I would say. And we got some children. I gave them a pride flag. Happy Pride, everyone. And I feel like pandemic has kind of opened a lot of dialogue about healthcare workers, the elderly, vulnerable communities, marginalized communities who need support, and we need to actually talk about how to get support to people. So they're up there at the front with a little cross-stitch lantern from from their camping feature in the Southern Home Living magazine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, lighting the way.
Yeah. So yeah.
And let's see, you applied some colors in this corner. Yeah, it feels nice. It fills up sort of I guess part of the radiant side over here.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I kind of let the left side kind of be a little bit more monochrome, or like obviously it's got two prominent white men's heads going on, but like that's kind of the only color really. And I guess the spit is blue and some red, which is aggressive, and then the other side is like rainbow. It's just all the colors. It's everything that I could find that was colorful, and green for nature.
Good boy in the corner here.
You gotta have your good boy. He also gets a little halo because he's looking out for us.
Yeah, that's great.
Definitely.
And then in this bottom, as part of that left side, you know, instead of like you said, more monochrome, and it's many of these words cut out. And yeah, it's you know, how'd you decide on that? You're covering a lot of 2020, right?
Yeah. So I at first was going a lot more literal with the concept of a wall, and that didn't work. I scrapped that. And instead I went with, what if words became bricks and the bricks became kind of a wall? And so, yeah, getting to read these again for the first time in a long while.
Yeah, how does it seem now after a little bit of distance?
The panic is rising, and I'm remembering kind of like what has happened in 2021 as well. So like, I definitely watched the QAnon special on whatever it was, HBO or whatever, and that was very upsetting in its own ways, but also, I guess, insightful. And like the second 2020 presidential debate, on the other hand, I don't think about that anymore, not in specific, because I remember it being something that people talked about a lot at a concentrated period of time. And after then, I think the economy is more a big issue that's been staying in the discussion. Wildfires are definitely back in, because West Coast been real bad, and we're expecting it to get worse.
And this
yeah,
you
so
might be Jeff Bezos.
Exactly, thank you. Good. So it's not actually a picture of Bezos. They wouldn't be so kind as to just give me that in the magazine. but I was like, a bald man, and I can put the words personal surveillance over his eyes. People should understand where this is headed, and I'm so glad you did.
Right, all right. Yeah. But yeah, like bricks, it builds that barrier in which this multicolored side, you know, all of us are it looks like a triumphing over the wall.
Yes, and that is kind of my, I guess, resolution to all the turmoil and conflict is, well, having to take action and do something and do it together. Don't it's not don't continue to be acted upon, but it's because that's victim blaming, but it's we've seen what it's like being acted upon and not having a say. And if you're able to grab for more ground and grab for more voice and use it, then we should all use it together, because coordinated it needs to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Have you done some collage after this one?
I have not. Instead I've gone into textiles.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, which I will say, because of collage and getting to work with my hands and getting outside of the digital mindset, really pushed me to go into textiles, which is again more physical, tactile, and it's been very satisfying. I've been sewing a lot of linen into light clothing that I can wear, and I get to feel so satisfied because it's real. It's not just in my head.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And we, you know, I've been meeting up with Ellery, the person that started this project, and Ellery and I will start the next round for
Nice.
for people that want magazines sent to them. You have any ideas or anything that you really liked or disliked? Any way we can improve?
Maybe a little printout of the instructions in the envelope that you send to people, because it's a good kind of reminder to have like at your desk with you. Like, what are you trying to do? What is this for? And also, if there's any other notes about, like, I don't know, if pieces arrive unsuccessfully and got like beat up in the mail, I don't know if that was a problem, but that would be something to be mindful of, whether you need to like put in reinforcing cardboard or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But if it all came in fine, then that's fine.
Okay. You have any thoughts on the next theme? If we did cutting up 2020, what could we do next? You know, it's in one way we don't want to be so like sweet and simple, but we do want to challenge our fellow creative people. What do you think?
Oh, that's so on the spot. I don't know. Definitely don't make it just easy or super casual. I agree with that. I think that's important. I don't know, maybe it's a little too late because we're already in Pride Month, but I know a lot of like identities, marginalized identities, and being LGBT is not the only identity set, obviously, but it's become a very visible one. So I guess which ones are less visible and need to be seen? And also it'll be such a challenge because in magazines, who gets represented? Question mark.
Yeah. I've been thinking about a way to um like question or bring up a prompt about the future. And I don't want
Mm.
to say that the future is uncertain. I don't want to be a downer, but maybe the future, yeah, the future will be more visible. It's like I want to be vague,
Right.
but tell people that I guess the future is yeah, the future has a lot of voices.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we come up with as a theme. Hopefully people, I wonder if we still have enough of if we have enough challenging magazines also. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I believe that you'll come up with a good theme and people will answer. Because if you can do anything like this, cutting up 2020 again, then you should be good.
Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks so much for spending some time chatting about this collage in 2020.
Yeah. Well, thank you for having me.
Okay. Have a good rest of the Sunday.
Yeah, you too. Have a good one.
All right. Bye.